Hello, my name is Tony Litt. I'm the MD of Sunrise Radio, and it's my immense pleasure to bring you the official Sunrise Radio podcast. We are the #1 commercial Asian station in the United Kingdom, with many firsts to our name, and we continue to be the voice of British Asians who have given us their love and loyalty over 30 years. It's a legacy we cherish and a responsibility that we don't take lightly. Our aim has always been to entertain the listeners with the best of Bollywood and Bhangra, while also addressing their concerns. A real voice for the community, a vibrant community, and a great nation. We are proud to be British and Asian. This podcast is a compilation of some of the things we do on the station, with a stellar lineup of presenters who each have their own personality and style. It's entertaining, informative, engaging, and we hope you will enjoy it here as a podcast if you are unable to tune in to the radio. Don't forget to subscribe and tell your family and friends about this podcast, and do leave us a comment on what you think. We'd love to hear from you. All the best always. Team Sunrise.
The UK's biggest station mix. Sunrise Radio.
On Sunrise Radio, we've partnered with Macmillan Cancer Support for a series of interviews highlighting their Let's Talk About Cancer campaign. Joining me on the podcast today is Syed Miah. Macmillan Cancer Support are working with Sunrise Radio to raise awareness of support available for people with cancer and their families. Whether you're concerned about treatment, your symptoms, money, or you just want to chat, Macmillan will do whatever it takes to help you right now. Whatever questions you need to ask, they have experts who can offer advice and help on their support line. Call the Macmillan support line for free on 0808 808 0000. It's open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can also visit the website, which is macmillan.org.uk/sunrise, or join the Macmillan online community. Please remember they have information booklets in Urdu, Punjabi and Hindi, as well as interpreter services on their support line. Joining me today is Syed Miah, Communities Manager at Macmillan Cancer Support, and is responsible for working with different communities to help support people living with cancer. Welcome to Sunrise.
Thank you very much.
How does Macmillan support people?
So Macmillan is a cancer support charity that is kind of mainly funded by donations from general public. 97% of our income comes from people doing amazing things every day, like holding coffee mornings, running marathons, or leaving us legacies in their will. So Macmillan's ambition is really to support everyone in the UK to receive the best cancer care there is. And we do this through numerous support services. We have our famous Macmillan nurses that you might be aware of. We have our phone line staffed by experts. We have information and support centres based in hospitals, and loads more, like financial support for people living with cancer, and our online community that people can join as well. So we've been going for about 113 years now, and in 2023 we helped more than 2.3 million people affected by cancer.
Because you work closely with people who've been affected by cancer, offering them invaluable support, tell me, how can a cancer diagnosis affect someone's life?
It's such a big effect that people can sometimes almost not realise it unless you've gone through it yourself. We estimate there are currently more than 3 million people living with cancer in the UK, and by 2030 we're expecting this to rise to 4 million. So that's a huge amount. So receiving a cancer diagnosis can be extremely difficult time and can affect so many aspects of someone's life. It's not just health, and so we're here to help with everyone with cancer live life as fully as they can, by providing physical support, financial support and emotional support where we can. It can be really overwhelming receiving a cancer diagnosis, and people have lots of questions going on in their head. They know how to speak to family, how they might deal with work, and so much affects it, even stuff like bills and trouble sleeping as well. So what we try and do, no matter what the question is, whether it's big or small, we're here to listen and we're here to support however we can for anyone that's affected by cancer. So spotting cancer symptoms early can make a real difference to diagnosis. So for most cancers, this means treatment is more likely to be successful. So if anyone's got any sort of signs and symptoms, the best thing we can recommend them to do is speak to their GP straight away.
Now, Syed, can you tell us about some of the work you've been doing with South Asian communities?
Yeah, actually. So my role covers the Midlands. So I cover the East and the West Midlands. And one of my roles is to work with community organisations to help them provide these services or bring these services to their communities. You know, we know that there's a massive health gap in between when it comes to ethnic minority communities and especially South Asian communities, where cancer is very much a taboo subject and it doesn't get talked about often enough, or people seem to shy away from speaking about it, or not even, you know, not like signs and symptoms stuff. You know, a lot of our communities don't even know what these signs and symptoms are. So my role is to work with community organizations that have connections into these communities to help them raise this awareness and help provide services. So there's a couple of examples. We worked with an organization in Leicester where they were a mental health organization that delivered mental health workshops. So we work with them to identify cancer patients within the South Asian community and deliver one-to-one mental health sessions for them and support them with that. There's also a organisation we work with in Derby where they're helping to create a kind of a cancer hub within their community. They're a training centre that delivers lots of kind of training to ethnic minority communities, you know, stuff like ESOL classes and all that kind of stuff. But what they're trying to do now is become a kind of a hub for cancer information and cancer support as well. So we're supporting that organisation. So there's, and that's only two of a massive list that I won't have time to go into now.
Absolutely. I can see how passionate you are about the work that you do. If people have questions about cancer, where can they get support? Where would you direct them?
So there's loads of places that you could go. You know, our cancer support service is available to anyone that's affected by cancer and has questions about cancer. So wherever the question is, big or small, Macmillan is here. So we help with money worries, we help with questions about work, you know, to support how people are feeling. So to find out more, people can go to macmillan.org.uk/sunrise. You know, we've got information, like you said before, we've got information booklets in Gujarati, Urdu, Punjabi, Hindi, as well as interpreter services on our support line as well. So you can speak to someone in your own language, and the Macmillan support line is open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We also have the Macmillan Online Community, which is a peer-to-peer support network for people living with and affected by cancer, with over 80,000 members. And support, again, is available 24/7 in that, and it's a safe online environment. And these groups are dedicated to specific topics, including people living with cancer from South Asian communities as well, so you can find really specific support as well. There are a number of, like I said, information centres and support centres based in hospitals that you can go into, and you can talk to someone about cancer face to face, and for whatever support you may need. And if you or your loved one is expecting any sort of signs and symptoms of cancer, like I said before, the best place to go to is straight to your GP at the first instance. To see what, you know, and take up any screening programs that are offered to you as well.
I was in conversation with Syed Miah, Communities Manager at Macmillan Cancer Support, responsible for working with different communities to help support people living with cancer. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on.
You can catch Shabnam and Sahi, the ultimate storyteller, weekdays 9 a.m. till 12 noon.